Hi there, happy hump day and welcome to Wednesday. There are times in life when it can be really easy to put our own feeling of discomfort and therefore our own needs ahead of the needs of others. Think about it. There can be times at work or in your personal life when a colleague or a friend or even an acquaintance experiences something that is unexpectedly sad and we don't know how to react. We don't know how to respond. It might have been that they've recently been made redundant or they've lost a loved one or something else has impacted them in a way and we're just not sure how to react. I had a situation recently where I was chatting with a former colleague of mine who had recently been made redundant. And what they said to me was what made it harder was the reaction of some of their colleagues. Not all, just some. Because those colleagues just simply stopped talking to them. And they felt like they had become persona non grata. Now, I've no doubt that that person's work colleagues didn't do it to intentionally be mean or to be hurtful. They weren't reacting like that because they didn't care about the person. They were reacting like that because they didn't know how the person was going to react or how they were coping with what was going on. And because they felt awkward and uncomfortable, it felt easier to just step back and to not say something. What they were doing was letting their uncomfortableness, their concern about saying the wrong thing, their concern about having a conversation with the person and then seeing them react in a way that made it worse, that then meant that they did nothing. But sadly, what happens then is it leaves the other person feeling hurt, confused, and isolated. I've seen that happen plenty of times. When tragedy strikes, we can easily be lost for words. Earlier in the year, I read Lee Sales's brilliant book, Any Ordinary Day, Blindsides, Resilience, and What Happens After the Worst Day of Your Life. And in the book, she recounts a story of a young child whose mother had died and how alone she felt at school because no one wanted to talk about it. The teachers and her friends didn't know how to face the situation, and so they acted as though nothing had happened. In many situations, our uncertainty about what to say and our desire to say the right thing can find us wanting to take the easy option. We feel for the other person and we feel for what they're going through, but our discomfort overrides that ability to reach out, to make that connection. But when you say nothing, when you avoid the conversation, or worse, avoid the person entirely, you're walking away from that opportunity to make a connection, to deepen the relationship. Because this is the time to really dig in, to connect rather than disconnect. So what do? How do you approach these types of situations? Firstly, it's really okay to acknowledge this is hard, that you're feeling uncomfortable. Then put yourself in the position of the other person and consider how you would like to be treated. Think about what they need and then communicate with them on their terms. This means you reach out gently and in a way that invites them into the conversation, invites them in to share what they want to share. So you're doing this in a way that works for them. You're not pressing for details. You're finding the communication that suits them. It might be an email, a card, a phone call, or a combination of a series of things that you're doing. It can help to sometimes just keep that first initial point of contact simple. It can be as simple as a note where you say, I'm thinking of you, and if there's anything you need, let me know. Because what you want to do is open the lines of communication. You're reaching out, you're making a connection, but you're doing it in a way that they can then respond in their own time, their own pace, and in their own way. Don't be surprised if you don't get a response. because they're going to be processing and working out what they need to do. And there may be lots of other things that they're thinking about and dealing with at that point in time. Because remember, this reaching out, it's not about you, it's about them. Uncomfortable conversations, they come in all shapes and sizes and at all times of your life. But getting comfortable with the uncomfortable is a really important part of you living a whole and a fulfilled life. Now, I love the quote by Tim Ferriss when he said, "A person's success in life can usually be judged by the number of uncomfortable conversations he or she is willing to have." So are there conversations around you that you should be having that you haven't? Because now's the time to have them. Take care. I'll see you next week.